to the cloud.
There we go. Hello, October 11th. Happy Health Habits gang, crew, tribe. I don't know what you call it. What's politically correct anymore? I don't know.
Up
But
to peeps.
friends, habits of health, happy habits of health, happy health habits, friends. That's probably
That's
the
it.
best thing.
Yes.
So anyways, Sharon's here. Yay. I know Margot said she's gonna be late. So welcome to our bus. This is the Happy Health Habits Friends bus. And remember I don't know, Sandy, if you got your book, The Energy Bus. But it is your bus and you drive the bus, and it's the bus to freedom, the bus to Joyland, the paradise, your own personal paradise. Yay, Sandy got it. Fantastic. I can't see it, but I see you got it. Remember, you're the driver of your own bus. The desire, vision, and focus of your bus moves you in the direction that you want. You fuel your ride with positive energy, and you invite people on your bus to share your vision of the road ahead. And I love that you guys are on my bus. And we don't waste energy on those who don't get on our bus. Okay? Just, yeah. Right? So no energy vampires allowed, and we're attracting passengers and we're energizing them, and we're hoping to have more. So bring friends, because the people who like our energy and want to be on our bus will come with us. We'll love them. We'll have a purpose and we'll have fun. So those are the 10 steps. And then we'll enjoy the ride on our bus. I'm going to name everyone in the bus. All right. So today we are going to talk about being the dominant force in our lives, and that was the topic. And I have been doing a lot of thinking about this over the last, I would say, month or 6 weeks or so. So this is a really fun topic for me. Oh, yay, Roberta's joining. Congratulations. Everybody, round of applause. We have everybody get moving, or getting active challengers. Roberta just signed up for moving. Sandy signed up. She's already a mover and groover. I think Elise did. We have the Facebook chat group that I'll just post little things in, but remember, go to the Optimal Life Facebook page every day and play. Comment, post your pictures. You're going to have more chances to win prizes, and they are cash. Yes. Don't forget, your tracker is just for paper. Just to review, because everyone's confused, this is just a paper tracker for you, yourself, and you. And then you are going to enter one time a week what your total scores were, and that's for the cash prizes. And I did win. I've won once or twice, so they do give money away, I was saying. So it does pay to play. So pay to play. And Vicki, have you got your trackers? Everybody's okay with their stuff? Okay.
Where do you get the tracker? I just signed up a few minutes ago. So
okay. Well, it's just a downloadable thing. It's a paper thing. Y'all, you can use as much technology as you want. You can use your Apple thing and your whatever app thing. I am doing literal paper because I don't want to wear EMFs. I don't want to wear EMFs, but I'm actually using that converter paper, and I'm learning a lot. I'm using that as an awareness tool because I've never ever tracked steps. And so it's an awareness of how many times I go up and down the stairs, what is my circuit training sort of worth. I'm guesstimating my numbers, but it's a good way to judge my movement in the day. So I'm actually learning quite a lot by doing it the old-fashioned way. So don't you worry if you don't have any bells and whistles. And I'm also doing my essential amino acids along with this. So if you have a movement goal, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I know Sharon's going to the mental gym this with me, right? This month. We're going to sit and do our 90 seconds of see what it's like to try to be silent for 90 seconds. That's our mental gym time. And I also have my essential amino acids that I'm doing, and this is day 3 in a row, so I'm on a roll. I've added that to my repertoire and keeping track of that on my daily nutrition and hydration tracker. So I have 3 things going on. That's kind of a lot. I only recommend 1 at a time, but I'm trying to have it stack. Okay. So to start the meeting, Carrie, I think let's do a little, just let go of the day, take 90 seconds, perhaps, right, Sharon? And see if we can just kind of let go of the stress of the day, and let's see what it actually feels like to relax and to just stop for 90 seconds. Before we do that, I have to ask, last week was pretty profound. Remember, we learned about stop, challenge, and choose on steroids. We learned about metacognition. You're just a thought. I'm not my thoughts. Remember that from last week? I will
That was very
command,
good.
I will command and obey my own thoughts. Did anyone use that? And did you use it last week, Carrie?
I
Sharon?
got my sticky note right here on my computer. And so,
You,
yeah, I pulled that up a few times throughout the week. And it was really good. I loved how you actually walked us through the whole thing
did
this
anybody
time.
else use it? Or I sent you the video recording again. So go fast forward, listen to it. Did you use it, Sandy? I am not my thoughts. You're just a thought. Okay. Sharon, did you? Margot? I actually did. I actually did once, and it was last night. I was up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. My amygdala's going, and I actually used it. I told myself, this is ridiculous. It's just a thought. It's just an emotion. It's just not real. Let's just go away, right? And
Yeah.
actually talked out loud to myself, so it works. It does work. Talk out loud to yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to the hand. Okay.
So
Carrie,
you want to do the 90
let's do
second
90
breathing
seconds.
thing, or
Yeah,
you want
let's
me to
try
do
90
or you want me
seconds.
to do the 5-minute video I found?
5 minutes. Let's do, sure. Well, we could do,
Okay.
let's at least
Wonderful.
try 90. Let's just do part of it and see how, let's do.
Yeah, I can jump into also the first intro
Yeah.
of it. We'll just go.
Because guys, when you're making decisions and when you're stressed here while she's pulling that up, guess what? There's a scripture that says, when you're agitated, do not sin. And it's an actual scripture. And do you know that Psalms 4, be agitated, but do not sin. And the definition of agitation I looked up is perturbed, unsettled, bothered, anxious, alarmed, harassed, jittery, jumpy, frantic, stressed, troubled, or nervous. So anytime you're feeling any of those things, upset, remember, be agitated, but don't sin. Calling yourself down, sit for 90 seconds. So let's see what we can do here and just kind of let the stress of the day go.
All right. And if it gets too glitchy, just go ahead and cut me off and we'll pause it or whatever. But here we go.
This is our hugging hack. So we're hugging ourselves today to calm ourselves down so that
Of course,
we
I
can make
always invite you
decisions.
to welcome in that soothing havening touch, palms, the havening hug, fingertips down the arms in a soothing, gentle manner, or across the brow and around the eyes to deepen the neuroplastic experience and to help the brain shift into a state that is permissive for leaning into calm and relaxation. We're going to start with a series of breath counts and then move into a mindfulness practice and finally wrap up with the sigh breath practice. So to begin, breathe in to a count of 3, 2, 1, and easy release to a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in again, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing in again, 3, 2, 1, and out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now invite you to look around your environment and find one object that is rectangular. And continuing that soothing, havening touch, invite your eyes to move from the upper left corner to the right corner as you breathe in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Now trace down the side of that object out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tracking along the bottom of that object, breathing in. 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling as you move up the other side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doing great. Now let's find any 3 objects in your environment that are circular in shape. And now any 3 objects that if you were to reach out and touch them would be soft. And now any 3 objects that would be smooth to the touch. And finally, let's find any 3 objects that are square in shape. And you may, of course, go back to the rectangle and include those items as well.
How long has that been, Carrie?
And let's once again breathe in
Been
for
two- has it
soothing
been
count of
2 minutes?
4, 3,
Yeah, that was 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Oh, we went past the 90 seconds, way past. Okay, how
Yeah.
does it feel to slow down for 3 minutes? I don't know. Is it weird? I know, Sharon, you've been trying to practice sitting
I
for
got
90
sleepy. It felt good.
Did it feel good?
I like it. Anybody else?
Felt great.
Feels great.
It's interesting because I'm pretty much a multitasker, but doing this and trying to add the breathing and looking for objects, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, and that's what she says. It's like to distract Amy the amygdala, you do
Yeah.
little brain games,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
it
couldn't
actually
keep up
increases your focus.
with her counting, but I I felt my anxieties kind of calm down a bit more.
Yes. If you keep doing this or doing this or doing this or this, it will just the distraction will just calm you down, even if you can't keep up.
Yeah, and it's a good check-in if you think, right as you were entering the room, what was your stress level, 7, 8, 9, were you running all over the place, and how do you feel now? And maybe if it's down to a 3, 4, or 5, maybe you decreased your stress level 10, 20, 30, 40%. And
It's
Uh,
that's
so
huge.
down I'm ready to sleep.
There you go.
Seriously?
Maybe we should do
Seriously?
this at the end.
Yeah, yeah. So you can rate yourself, okay, my stress is like a 10 right now, but then take a 90 seconds, 3 minutes, and just see, okay, now, okay, I got it down. It could be a 3 even, it could be a 0 or whatever. But yeah, I know, Sandy, that it's hard because you're a multitasker, so am I. And I've literally had to practice this. And Sharon, so are you. What's your experience been counting to 90? I know we talked about it today. Are you going up to 90 or backwards?
Yeah,
How
we're
has
on
that
day
been for you?
3. Oh, there we go. Sharon, we got you. Go ahead.
I was going up to 90 and I mean, it just seems it's kind of lengthy, but necessary.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
1 minute of
like-
silence is a lot. 90 seconds? What?
It seems like a lot, but that's the effectiveness of it.
That's
In the old days, they'd say count to 10.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
90 is 80 more than that. That's a lot.
Yep.
that's a lot.
It
And
is.
I specifically, you chose the 90, right? Because that's generally how long an emotion lasts.
Correct.
So go ahead and feel into whatever's going on right in the moment.
Correct. Yeah. Let yourself feel whatever it is for, and wait about 90 seconds. If you need to wait 2 minutes or 5 minutes, just do that and just, yeah, yeah. But just starting with 90 gives you a target, or even 10. Yeah, 10. Count to
I
10.
have to tell you, Amy, watching you do this and just sway with your eyes closed, it was like really calming. I was like, wow, look at Amy.
Yeah.
Good.
You know what? I've been working on this for almost 3 years, and do you know how many
Oh,
of those videos that I have listened to? I mean, a million.
And how
Oh.
many have you done on loop even at night?
And I have my own on loop. I have my own that I play over and over again that are specific to me. And I'll tell you, it's a brain game. It's hard work in there, lifting those weights in that brain, like just
Going to
change.
the brain gym.
It's the brain gym, right? So don't give up on yourself. If it's hard, if it's uncomfortable, if it's weird, just keep doing it, because you will be able to make better decisions when you can get yourself calmed down.
Yeah. And if you've
Yeah.
done it for 10 seconds or 30 seconds or 60 seconds, it's better than nothing at all, right? So it's all going to add to the improvement, just like with the steps challenge, lots of different things, but just focus on the one for today.
And I know
Right.
camera here today, but she would say this, Vicky would say this. When do you make your worst decisions, Vicky? When you're calm and relaxed, or when you're stressed? When do you make the worst decisions for your health and well-being? Vicky, can you?
When I'm stressed and hurried.
Yes.
And
Or-
hangry.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Or angry,
For me.
or hungry. Yeah. So when we start feeling stress, when we feel hurried, when we feel hungry, guys, hunger, just always eat every 2 to 3 hours. Avoid hunger at all costs, because hunger is the kiss of death. Do not wait till you're hungry. That is old. Hungry, that's old news. That's old. That doesn't work. Yeah. So always wait 10 seconds, count to 10. Give yourself a good old grandma hug, 90 seconds if you can, pull out a video, an audio quick. Yeah. And then you're going to make better decisions.
Can I tell my 90-second story? What happened to me
Yes, what's your
yesterday?
90-second story?
Okay, so I got up late. I had horrible night's sleep, bad headache, and when you have nightmares of headaches, it was like that all through the night. And I had an appointment in the morning. So I got up like 15 minutes before my Zoom appointment, went in the kitchen just to make, a shake. The cappuccino thing is really yummy with coffee in it. So I thought, double blast. And I get the clock in the kitchen had stopped. So I was 5 minutes late to my Zoom meeting, which was a very short meeting. And I'm like, what's the point? And I went back to bed and I cried. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why did I even bother? But I noticed I cried for 90 seconds. And then I said, I don't want to lay here all day. I don't want to ruin my day. And I looked at my husband and I said, let's go for a walk. And there's some exercise equipment down on the other side of town. Okay, we drove to the other side of town, which is 10 blocks, but we did the exercise and I had a great rest of the day. I even came home and I was humming. He's like, well, look at you. And I said, note to self, when I have bad episode, just say, hey, let's go for a walk for a few minutes or go do something.
And you notice.
So I did a double thing. I did the 90-second and I got in some movement, and it just turned my whole day around. True story. Yesterday.
That's fantastic. Bravo. Bravo. You noticed that the emotion only took you about 90 seconds to cry it out, and then movement.
It was my challenge. I let the emotion happen. I felt through it, but then I challenged it as like, is this what I want? And I made a choice. Stop, challenge, choose. And I made a good choice. And then I signed up for the challenge.
I am not my emotions. You did it. I'm not my emotions. I'm not going to have a bad day. I will myself to get out of bed and do something. That's fantastic. Love it. Love it. High five, girl. High five. So good job. Good job. I will myself to get this. I'm not letting this get me down. This is great. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have a stop, challenge, and choose moment? Alicia, I'm so glad you're back. To share, is anyone else, let's see, what was I going to say here?
Yeah. any other wins of the week, or who have joined the challenge? What have you been working on?
Mhm.
Because I love the fact that it's not just walking steps or running, because that's not really my thing. All those other things, I'm loving that extra chart. That
Mhm.
I did some Pilates this morning, so that counts.
Yeah, the
So
conversion chart, there's all kinds of stuff on there. Go
love it.
figure. I had to look up what calisthenics were and what circuit training was, because I'm like, I don't know what I do. And it's sort of a cross between the two. So I'm guesstimating. But yeah, it's nice walking, stairs. There's other things that you can put on there for counting steps. Anyone else have a win of the week they'd like to share? I'm considering it a win that I'm doing my I did a healthy tailgate this weekend, and I also had doing my amino acids. Anybody else have a good win that they'd like to report? Candace, we're glad you're here too. Yay. So if not, who was on Monday, and do we have any feedback or takeaways from that? I know Sharon was, she always is. Did you hop on, Elise, from the Monday call?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
No, I wasn't able to.
how about you, Margot?
Hi, Margot.
There we go. Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to Monday night, and it was a lot of repeat of what I've heard before, but nevertheless, it's always great to listen again because I always say it rejuices me. To listen and to hear what people have gone through and the decisions and the choices they made and why they've made them. And when you think you stubbed your toe worse than anybody else, and you listen to some of these folks and what they've been through and the changes they've made in their lives, and it just helps to keep you going. It keeps driving you forward, because there are so many people out there that need help, that need somebody to work with them, to guide them, to direct them. But in turn, because of helping them, there are so many people out there that I have helped that have helped me more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing that I get out of it, is truly, well, I love coaching. I love doing it. I love the people. What I love even more is when I get back and reflect on how much their lives have impacted mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. No question. For me, this Monday night was absolutely eye-opening for no other good reason, because, you hear the stories of, great stories about how everybody, has conquered and divided, and you kind of get immune to the stories. But what really hit me this time, and Margot, you'll probably be able to relate with this, is that I've had pieces of Dr. Anderson's story, pieces of the nurse's story, pieces of the other gal's story that hit me like a ton of bricks this time. And I want to encourage you guys to do this. For about a month, I've been in this conversation with myself about what is my story. If I was on that webinar, what would my story be? Okay. What would the milestones be that I would report? And I've been working really hard at this since really the summer when we had our coaches retreat. Is what are and I've had several different things. What are my defining moments in life? What are the things in my life that cause me to move, be, do, or have something different? You remember last week we talked about commitments. What are you made commitments in your life to a marriage, you made a commitment to a move, you made a commitment to a job, you made a commitment to to something. What were those things? What were the defining moments for you? What was the thing that made you do, be, or decide that there's going to be something different? You know what? So I've been in this this thought of what is my story? If I don't make any changes, what has my story been, and what do I want it to be in the next 3 to 5 years? So what has it been? But what have been my defining learning moments? What were they? What did I learn from them in the moment? But what's the higher learning now, looking back? So I've got a timeline. I started a timeline of my life, and don't you know, the defining moments where and I would encourage all of you to do this, do a timeline, start from 0 till now, and then leave it blank in the future. But go and look at what were the defining moments where you made decisions, you made changes and course corrections, you did something different in your life. What did you learn in that moment, and why is it a defining moment? What was the higher learning? Because that way you really are anchoring it into your being. You know what I'm saying? You're actually learning from, and at every single point in my life on this timeline, I had these, every time I had a defining moment, or every time I had what we want to call, like, what do you want? I'm calling it a defining moment, but it's something else.
An aha moment.
Yeah, a truth bomb. I call them truth bombs now. Every time I had a truth bomb, my timeline, I had a line. How was I the timeline is straight, but was I really doing well in life, or was I really at the bottom? Was I really happy, or was I really down? Every time I had a defining moment in my life, I was at the bottom. I had hit bottom of something. Do you know what I mean? I was depressed. I was decided, like when they talked about, Dr. Anderson said he was so done. He was so up to here with the medical practice and waiting for people to die to help them. He finally said, I hit bottom. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I got to do something different. Almost always your defining moments in lives are your bottom, and then you go up and you make a decision to be, do, or have something different. Okay. Like when they say, she says, what caused you to be here? Most people come to be to part of this community because there's some sort of physical bottom they've hit, right? But raise your hand if you did not, if you came here because you hit a physical bottom and you got in touch with me because it was a physical problem, not mental, not mind, body, finances. They were talking about mind, body, finances, right? How that all goes together. But raise your hand if you came for something other than physical. Okay. No, most of the time. Go ahead, Elise.
I came for mental.
Mental.
Just,
Okay, good.
yeah,
That's
just to get
fantastic.
my mind back to positive. And I know the group that is always good for encouragement, and that's what I need, because there's just too much going on over here.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Most people are attracted because they have a physical bottom. I got to fix my weight. I got to fix my eating, but she was like, no, I need to be around positive people.
Yeah.
That is fantastic, because it's healthy mind, healthy body, healthy finances. If we don't have all three, you know what, then something's suffering, right? We've got to make sure we have all three. So that's, most people wait and come to that. I actually came to this. We lost Carrie. I wonder if she lost internet. She must have. I came to this because of, truth be told, I was working on my health, of course, because I had just had a bunch of big surgeries. But initially, I was looking at this as a healthy finance option. I was looking to recreate myself professionally. I was looking at going and, I didn't want to start a new I didn't want to start a new practice. I did not want to open up a new practice at brick and mortar building. And I was looking to, how can I still make a difference and serve my purpose in the world and be who God called me to be in a different way. I needed to recreate myself, professionally speaking. And so that was what I was really looking initially at it. And it just fit, because I was already a teacher and preacher of all things wellness. I was already licensed in this stuff. I already knew most of it. But what of course wasn't doing is I was a recovering know-it-all, because I was in the dumps, and my health was horrible. And when I was listening on Monday night, it just really occurred to me that throughout my life, You know, I've had a lot of these same moments that they had, these truth bombs where you got to do something different. The one gal got diagnosed with cancer. The other one was the other one was getting crushed financially. The other one was Dr. Anderson was just ready to give up, you know, his entire medical career because he had, this is not the way he wanted his life to go. You know, so can anybody think of defining moments that they've had that just kind of come to mind, like truth bomb moments or times where they really made a shift? Does anyone think of any of those things? What do you, yeah, Sandy.
I had breast cancer 34 years ago now, and I was looking for a job. I hadn't worked for a while, and I looked for a job. After about 50 rejections, I finally got an interview. I got accepted. It was a technical writing job. I was there 2 weeks, and every day I cried on the way to work. I cried on the way home from work, and I cried during lunch on the phone to a friend. At the end of 2 weeks, I gave my notice. I thought, I survived cancer. I don't need to live my life in this agony. And I left. And it took a while, but I found another job. Happened to be at Caron International that Dr. Amy knows about.
Yeah.
So, and I stayed there 20 years. So I finally, it's like, why am I going to work where I hate it, where people are treating me like garbage? After I survived cancer, I need to live.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That is a truth bomb. That's a defining moment. Truth bomb, shift courses, go in a different direction, right? That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Have you had any of those moments, Sharon or Vicky? I know Margot has. Have you had any moments, Roxy? Defining moments that really shifted you and you just decided, I'm committing to a different way, a different thing, doing something different, being someone different?
Yes, I was cleaning houses before and before the pandemic, but you know, I like being independent because my daughter needs me all the time to be available for her. So, and I think that, well, I mean, fits good for me. But then, you know, it's a heavy job. I mean, a hard job to do. And after my accident, my body was tired and I was in pain. And I mean, I used to really enjoy cleaning, actually, because I sing and I do my dance while I'm cleaning. But then my body was not responding. And then I start thinking really like, I really don't want to be in this pain. I mean, I need to do something else, but I didn't know what to do. What other, kind of job can I get, like, give me the time, the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And until, you know,
so it's your physical pain that moved you to, I've got to do something different.
Yes, I know it. I mean, all the time, but then when I found this, that I can coach others, because I was just, you know, I have a little group of friends that I was just coaching them in a very primitive way.
Yes.
I just love to tell them, just do this and you will be fine. Drink this water, right. And see, I read this and this is good. So I was just doing it on my own way. So, and then I have this big tool telling me, like, here, this is, I mean, you have someone backing you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was when I said, I love to do this. I mean, I mean, I love to clean, of course, but if I can stay with my daughter in my house, and you know, of course, no, when the pandemic hit, my clients stopped calling me. I only had a few,
mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, this is not good. So,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I said, like, well, winter is coming. I mean, still some ladies, they don't want to leave me. And I said, no, please. And they were like, please, we only want you to clean our house. And I think they don't really care too much about how I clean, but I don't know, they just like to talk to me, I guess.
They like to talk to you. So your defining moment was really physical, and and for you to you decided to do something different and be dominant. That was what I think. Become the dominant force in your life, and make a change and do something different. And
Yes.
it fit you. It fit who you were, and you were honest with yourself about that.
Yes, yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I love what I do, and this just the joys of helping others. I mean, that's what I mean. I
Yeah.
say I'm here. I mean, this is for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sandy, you know what? You had to be honest with yourself when you got that new job and you quit the other one you had. You had to be honest with yourself. I heard honesty. This morning I did a quick live because I was thinking about honesty, being honest with ourselves, that Sandy was honest with herself. I am miserable. You know what? Roxy was honest with herself. I'm in pain. This isn't working. Right? Sharon, honest with herself. I thought I could kick sugar addiction by myself. 3 years later, I'm being honest. Dr. Amy, I need help. Elise, I'm being honest. I need good mental health. I need positive people in my life. Like, being honest, we've got to get to the core of what is it that we need to be honest with ourselves about, because it's the hardest thing to do. But once you are, I have found that it will set you free. And the times when you get most honest with yourself is when you are in the ditch. You know, when you're at your lowest low, right, Margot? You got real honest with yourself after your heart attack.
Yeah.
And you're almost near death, losing limbs from diabetes, right? You get real honest with yourself, right?
Amazing.
And it's a scary place to be, but it sets you free. That honesty sets you free. That's, by the way, step 5 of the 12-step program. Honesty. That is one of the hardest things, being honest with yourself and God, and then someone else. You're showing up today is being honest with other people, and that also sets you free. That also helps you heal. And every time you share those things, it helps you to heal as well as everybody else to heal. So we thank you for showing up, because your pain helps everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Sharing these things is in a safe place.
Yeah.
Is really, really important. Don't you think, Margot?
Yeah.
And,
I think back to, my first major issue was I was 16 years old when I was told I would probably never have children.
Mhm.
And I lived in a small town, and in a small town, you graduate from high school, you find your boyfriend, you get married, you bake apple pies, and that's the way you live in a farm town. And so kind of that's what I thought. And I thought, well, I'm not going to have children. I just all of a sudden became kind of footloose and fancy free. And I graduated from high school and started moving around and didn't have any real direction. And then at 23 years old, I was told I was pregnant. And it was an extremely defining moment.
That's a defining moment.
And changed my entire trajectory.
Yeah, not thinking you were going to be able to ever have kids.
No, and of course the challenge at the time was, while I loved her father, I was not in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
So my choice was not to get married. And 50 some years ago, you just didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in a world and environment where I could. But it changed everything. It changed my thinking. It changed my concentration. It changed my commitment to life, because now I wanted my life to mean something. Before that, I wanted it to mean having a good time and traveling and doing fun things. But now all of a sudden it came back to,
you had a purpose.
I had a purpose. I had a gift. I'd been given a gift.
Yeah.
And I needed to unwrap it very carefully.
Yeah.
Because it was such a precious gift. And change my life and live it accordingly.
And I challenge all of you on your timeline to go through and write down, when were your high highs and when were your low lows, and challenge yourself to go, okay, that's a defining moment in my life. Okay, what was happening? And learn and grow from it, right, Margot? Because you could do that, that timeline for a lot of different things. But I think over time, it defines, for me, what I found is it's defining my purpose in life. It's helping me to figure out what is my purpose? Why am I on this planet? What is my legacy? What is my gift to mankind when I'm gone? Right? It's not about just me anymore, Margot. It's not about just fun anymore, right, Margot? It's not about
Why am I still here?
yeah. Why are you still here? Why are you still alive after 13 lives? You should have been dead, right? So I think this really is a big conversation, guys, of you dominate, how to become the dominant force in your life. Isn't like how to become a chiropractor, an Optavia coach. It's about how to figure out what your purpose in life is. And if you really look behind the lines and read between the lines with all those stories and stuff on the every third Tuesday or whatever, Monday, whatever it is, it really will help you define your own purpose in life on the planet and your God-given gifts. If you just dig deeper, do you know what I'm saying? Just keep digging deeper. And you'll realize, and then Margot is even at 74 coming into what her purpose in life is at 74 going, oh, I get it. These defining moments are all adding up to something.
Yes.
Right. And so it's really, remember the later parts of the book where your higher level of consciousness comes is when you're going to start having awarenesses where, what I'm finding for me is that my beliefs were implanted in the beginning. They were implanted in me, and then they were imprinted or expected, and now they're inspired. My beliefs are inspired. I believe that I have a bigger purpose and calling. So it's changed over time as I learn and grow about myself. And so, I encourage you. And Roxy, we started this on that coaching retreat, and I think it's something to continue to look at and to work on. And if you haven't started a timeline, I realized just yesterday that my timeline didn't start until I was 20. I didn't start until I was 20. And I thought, why did I do that? Because, someone asked me, why did you become a chiropractor? Why is that? What happened there? What was that all about? And don't you know, I spent some time meditating on it. I found out it was from when I was a kid. And so it's really fascinating I was the dominant force in my life all along, making decisions about who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do and have, not without strife and struggle and breaking a bone or two, but I really was the dominant force. And I have made so many dominant force decisions in my life that have changed everything. I'm like, I can't believe how powerful I am and I feel so weak most days. I feel so powerless most days, but really, looking back, you have made choices. You have been the dominant force in your life. So put those on paper, figure out when they were, what were they, and let them drive you forward. Are you guys with me on this? I've made hard choices. I've done hard things. So have you, Sandy. So have you, Margot. I know you have, Sharon. And when we do those things, we want to make sure that we understand how we did them, why we did them, so we can be stronger for them. When I just realized the other day, I have been and I say this with a grain of salt a lot of times, but I literally have been an addict since I was a child. I was a sugar addict in elementary school, and I was a people-pleasing addict. And I've had this truth bomb moment right now. Everybody, almost every single friend I have, every single client I have, every single person, almost everybody is addicted to people-pleasing. It's called codependency, and it kills people. And mine started in childhood when I learned that I could actually get a high. I could get a dopamine rush from making everybody around me happy. I could get a dopamine rush. I could get a chemical rush by making everyone happy. And that felt good to me for a while until it didn't, and it started to suck my soul. And I didn't have a soul anymore because I was just all about getting the high of making everyone feel good, but I didn't really have a self. Does that make sense, you guys? I was addicted to food. I ate food for comfort. I ate sugar for comfort, and I took care of people for comfort. And I worked my butt off, and the more I worked and the better I did, the more kudos I got. I was addicted to success. I was addicted to achieving so that everyone else would feel good and be happy around me. Right? No wonder I ended up in a complete depression with total failure of my entire, health. My whole body just imploded decades later. So this is a big awareness that I'm having here. And I've been working on it for a really, really long time. So and through different milestones that I've had, becoming a chiropractor, was one of them. It was, I had an adjustment from an excruciating injury, and he turned my life around in one fell adjustment and swoop, and then just showed me about the nervous system, and the nervous system with all the nerves control the cells, tissues, and organs. And I in that moment, it was like a truth bomb went off for me. And I thought, wow, the power that made the body heals the body. Whoa, I love that. That was all about me. So that was a defining moment for me. I was going to do that. That was what I wanted to do. Defining moment, right? That was just one of them, but it started a really long time ago. So you can, I can go way back, and then go way forward to when I started, I bought my practice. Little did I know, they talk about being the dominant force in your life. They talked about a lot about the financial things and how finances crush you, and how they really can and have the power to crush you. And that one gal said that, that really stuck with me. Because when I purchased my practice and I actually had my chiropractic school debt, the debt was crushing me. The stress was crushing me. And it percolated into everything in my marriage. And my husband was last on the list after everybody else. My health, all my practice, my debt, everything came first. Everything was all out of order. Dr. Anderson talks about emotional mismanagement being the #1 killer in the country. Absolutely, without a doubt. I had so much emotional mismanagement going on and nervous system dysregulation that my body was just imploding. So, right, you end up with autoimmune diseases and liver tumors, 10-pound liver tumors, and cancer. And then you get the diagnosis and you think, where have I been all my life? What am I doing with myself? And no wonder, I feel like Dr. Anderson saying, I'm done with this business now because I can't do this anymore. That was a defining moment. I cannot kill myself trying to save the world. Again, truth bomb, defining moment, become the dominant force in my life, sell my practice, move out of state. These are things that I've done that I'm like, wow, I'm super proud of myself. In the moment, it sucked for every single second. Okay, almost lost my marriage. Almost my marriage was in the tanks even, guys. So that financial debt, that crushing stress, the emotional mismanagement was killing my most key relationships, and including my relationship with myself and God. I didn't have that either, which I'm now restoring as well. So, I just, I'm going to go on and on. This is my story, but I'm just learning a lot from looking back and really making sure to mark the milestones. So when I tell you, hey, do an accountability post, write your own story. Whether you post it or not, make sure you write your own story, write down your milestones, have them written where you can see them, because they do matter and they help you make decisions. They've helped me make all my decisions. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, Sandy.
I need to leave for a minute. I have to go take care of Steve. He just
Okay,
had surgery.
got
I
it.
need to go take care of him.
Vicki, what are you getting out of all this? Roxy, Candace, anybody got a takeaway? Roberta, what are you guys going to do? Any action steps you think you can take? Anything you're gaining? If you haven't listened to Monday, maybe go back and listen again. But
I'm definitely going to listen, and I'm going to write out the timeline too. That is really powerful to think about and go back and analyze each pivotal point in life and what caused it.
Mm-hmm. Candace, it's so good. That's going to be so good for you.
Yeah.
There's always an in the moment learning, but then there's the after learning, right? Where you go.
Yeah. It's true. And it usually is some sort of a breakdown, some sort of hitting bottom that leads to change. And like I always say, every breakdown's a breakthrough. We learn so much from those breakdowns, and we learn a lot about ourselves when we go through hard times and come through them and see where our life should be.
My friend Candace, coined the best term ever. Every breakdown is a breakthrough.
It's true.
I think the other thing that happens to us in life is those moments happen, and quite often we don't think about them when they happen.
Right.
So you have life-changing experiences, aha moments, down in the cellar moments, all of that. And it's not till you stop and look back and
Yes.
think about it and go, why did I do this then?
Yes.
Why did this happen?
Yes.
Why did I make the choices I did coming out of a situation? And so it's really mind blowing in most cases where you go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was happening. I just made the choice and the decision.
Yeah, and a lot of times you're in survival mode. You're just doing what you can do to get through the day
Yeah.
and get through the moment and the situation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and so,
absolutely.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
you're not thinking, you're just reacting. And Candace can say that, react, 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 react. She lived in reaction, reaction, reaction. You know, that was fight or flight. You know, you just live in reactive mode. Have you ever been there, Vicky or Sharon? Have you guys ever kind of looked this deeply at your life or your decisions, or can you see how it might help your future decisions?
I have not looked that deep.
I was just gonna say, I don't like to go, I don't go deep.
Mhm.
I don't know why.
It's scary deep, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
think it often we just get so busy living our life that we don't think about it.
Yep.
Sandy, I have a question for you. You're going to think this is a strange one, but I'm curious to know when you started kayaking.
I think it's about 8 or 10 years. I was over 60 when I
And
started.
what got you started doing that?
I had a girlfriend with 2 twin children, about in their teens at the time, and they said, we want you to go kayaking with us. So I went to their house. They lived on Medicine Lake. They put me in the kayak and we paddled around the lake and I fell in love. Went and bought one the next week.
The reason I ask you that is because when I see you on Facebook talking about your kayaking that morning, going around Lake Ann, the 2 things I notice the most with you are your kayaking and your walking. And when you talk about them, your whole face lights up. It's just like, it just pours out of you that this is really a very, very special time that I just experienced. And I was just curious what drove you to that, what got you doing that.
Well, that's how I started.
Obviously have a significant impact on your life.
Yeah. They got me interested. Then they left. They moved to California 5 years ago, but I still love it. And it's my time alone with God. I sing and I pray and I talk. Now I've been listening to books, you know, on my phone. I have a boat safe bag, so it's not going to get wet. I listen to a book and I just paddle around, and it's for meditation. I mean, it's just very calm. I don't go in big waves. I don't go down the river. I don't roll the thing. I just paddle along, have a jolly good time. It's just so refreshing. I'm in my happy place. And sometimes really, if I'm just really rattled, Steve will say to me, it's time to go kayaking or walking. You know, you need to go do something. Because he can
calms
see
down
that
amygdala. She's giving herself the big hug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. I can't get enough of it. And now the season is ending. I'm really getting kind of sad about it. My boat is still at the lake, but Steve can't help me anymore, so I have to go by myself. And I need to figure out, I lost my core strength this year. I can't stand up by myself. So now to get out of my boat, I'm going to have to get in the water and tip over sideways and drag it out, which means it's going to be cold and wet clothes. But I don't think it's going to stop me because
now you have a focus to work on your core strength, right?
That's right.
Vicky, let's get to know you. Do you have a passion, a happy place, a happy thing, a place where you get really peaceful and happy?
My sewing room. I sew.
You sew. Awesome. Awesome. So you can get that solitude and that serenity that Sandy's talking about.
Yep.
Awesome.
Did you see how her eyes lit up and she smiled when she was telling us about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's how you know you're in your passion place. What about you, Sharon? What's your passion place?
In nature.
In nature. Walking.
Outside. Walking, just any kind, gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're redoing some landscaping. So it's just a happy place to be in nature. Enjoy the outdoors.
And Roxy has learned too that walking dogs is a huge joy for her. And Candace, I don't know where
Yeah.
Roberta.
Suddenly I know I love dogs. I never had dogs in my life before.
It's a new passion.
Yeah, they give me a lot of love, and I like it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, cats. I love cats, but they don't usually give back.
No, they don't give back. Dogs give back.
Dogs are like so happy to see me, and they make a party just to see me, and so I was
They
like,
make a party just to see me.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
awesome.
them.
What about you, Candace or Roberta? If you can share, Pam, if you can share, what's a passion, purpose, place for you? And do you think you'll like? I like that Candace is going to do the timeline. I think that's a good idea for her. Pam too, probably.
I think I'm going to do the timeline as well. I think that'll be good for me. And then Sandy, just a note, I went kayaking for the first time last week. You know, I'm 65 and was on vacation in New Hampshire, and everybody, my husband and his family were going out, and I was like really nervous because I've never done that before, and I'm not great on the water necessarily, but I absolutely loved it. You know, around the woods and trees, it smelled like balsam, and it was really wonderful. So I'm looking forward to doing that some more. So,
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, yeah, you all, you know what, just whatever level and age and stage, we're all in different places and different vulnerabilities and different stages of readiness. Don't ever shame yourself. Don't ever make yourself wrong. Just know, am I ready, willing, and confident? If you're not confident, you got a whole group of people to lean in on and everyone online. If you're ready and willing, boy, there's the way. We got the way. We just have to walk one foot in front of the other. So don't forget. You're never alone, and keep coming back and bring friends. It works if you work it, right? So, and I just told Elise this morning when she's gone, but I said, good for you for being back. She said, I'm trying. I said, well, you can't remember always this. You cannot fail if you don't quit trying. So you've got to just allow yourself to be on the journey of ups and downs. So, if you're gaining weight back, if you're losing and sustaining, doesn't matter. This is all about the mind, body, spirit, mental, physical, chemical, social, spiritual, financial, the whole ball of wax. So you stay in the game, everybody. And we'll see you on next week. Make sure to go back and watch this YouTube from last week again and practice. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Loves and hugs.
You guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.